Sister wives Cristin and Kody Brown's custody case takes drastic turn. Sister Wives stars Cristin Brown-Woolley and Kody Brown's custody case has taken a drastic turn. The exes had to meet in court over custody, paternity, and child support regarding their daughter, Truly. Yet it did not turn out the way anyone expected it to. Keep reading for further details. Cristin and Kody Brown's custody case takes drastic turn. When Cristin Brown-Woolley shared she was moving to Utah, Kody Brown tried to sway her. She was taking their youngest child, Truly, so he did all he could to keep her from leaving. Though he was not a very active parent, he also liked control. Since he and Cristin were never legally married, he told her that the state could take their daughter away. He used scare tactics to keep Cristin close, but it did not work. It was clear that Truly never felt comfortable with her father or at the home he shared with Robin. There was an outsider vibe whenever she was dropped off, but then Cristin began dating David Woolley. Truly felt welcomed by him, and that was evident by her playful nature. At the same time, Cristin finally decided to sue Kody for back child support. His name was not on Truly's birth certificate due to them being polygamists. Therefore, she got a paternity test and they had a court date set. They just had to face off in court, and it should have been cut and dry, but with Kody, it is anything but. He and Robin were spotted in Utah, though they were not required to be there. According to the Ashley's Reality Roundup, the hearing was held via web conference. They will now attend mediation on May 21, 2025, but the case has now been classified as a Track 1 and Track 3. A Track 1 case is standard, whereas the latter is for those with a significant custody dispute. This means there is likely an immense amount of conflict or requires more negotiation/consideration. Conflicted followers. Sister Wives fans are very conflicted by this whole situation. They have seen Kody Brown neglect his children, so to want more custody of Truly was very confusing. Furthermore, the feeling was Kody only wanted more custody, so he did not have to pay up to Cristin. I wonder how often he has had Truly at his and Robin's homes since she moved to Utah with her mother, and if he has been consistently paying child support. I presume he has not been, or there would have been no need for the court case. And Truly may now be old enough to choose whether or not she wants to spend time with her father at his home. So many thoughts. If Kody ever wanted significant custody, it would have been obvious based on the time he spends with her, which was none/not much. He's only fighting for custody because he doesn't want to pay Cristin. He's only fighting for custody so he doesn't look like an **** Cole. The fact that he is wanting custody while being estranged from 2/3 of his children is beyond rich. The courtroom buzzed with tension, the air thick with anticipation. It had been weeks since Cristin and Kody Brown's bitter custody battle began, and today marked a pivotal moment that no one could have foreseen. The stakes were higher than ever. The future of their children, the unraveling of a family dynamic that had once seemed unbreakable, and the very public nature of their split were all on the line. Cristin sat at the defendant's table, her hands clasped tightly in front of her, the same serene expression she had perfected through years of marriage to Kody. She had always been the one to hold her emotions in check, never letting the pressures of polygamy, marriage, or motherhood get the best of her. But today, the mask was slipping, and her discomfort was palpable. Across the room, Kody sat, his jaw clenched, his eyes narrowing as he glared at his ex-wife. He was still processing the dissolution of their marriage, but now it felt like everything. His relationships with the other wives, his role as a father, his identity, was crumbling. It was one thing to be rejected by Cristin, but now, in this courtroom, she was challenging his very right to parent their children. The judge, a woman with a no-nonsense demeanor, called the court to order. The room fell silent as she adjusted her glasses and reviewed the documents in front of her. We are here today to resolve the matter of custody for the Brown children. Mrs. Cristin Brown has petitioned for primary custody of their 6 children, while Mr. Kody Brown has requested joint custody with shared legal rights. Both parties have provided testimony, and now we must weigh the best interest of the children. Kody's attorney, a sharp-dressed woman with dark hair and piercing eyes, stood up. She had represented Kody for years, guiding him through the complexities of his polygamous life. But today, even she seemed uneasy as she addressed the court. We believe that it's in the best interest of the children to remain in a stable, consistent environment. Mr. Brown has always been a hands-on father, and he has maintained strong relationships with his other wives and children. These relationships are key to their well-being, and disrupting the children's daily life would have lasting consequences. Cristine's attorney, a calm and collected man with a gentle voice, stood to respond. Your Honor, we are not disputing Mr. Brown's role as a father, but it is clear that the children are better suited to a more peaceful, secure environment, one that no longer involves the volatile and often hostile dynamic that has plagued this family. Cristin has been the primary caregiver for most of the children's lives, and she believes that they deserve a stable, loving home without the constant upheaval of their father's relationship dynamics. The courtroom fell into a murmur as the attorney made his argument, but the judge held up a hand. We are not here to rehash the past. Let's focus on what is best for these children moving forward. Cristine's eyes flicked briefly to Kody, then back to the judge. She knew that this battle wasn't just about her and Kody, it was about their children and their future. She had fought hard to get out of this marriage, and now her resolve was stronger than ever. The children deserved peace, away from the dysfunction that had marked their upbringing. But Kody wasn't going down without a fight. His voice was louder now, his words tinged with frustration. Cristin is making this about herself, about her need to move on, but what about the kids? What about their relationship with me? I'm their father, and I've been there for them, despite all the drama. You can't just erase that. His words stung. Cristin fought the urge to respond sharply, but she knew this battle was bigger than anything Kody could throw at her. The judge interrupted, her voice sharp. Mr. Brown, this isn't about your personal feelings or your past relationships. This is about ensuring that the children have a stable and nurturing environment. Now, let's hear from the children themselves. For the first time in weeks, the courtroom went quiet. The children had been asked to provide statements to the court, their voices carefully guided by both Cristin and Kody's legal teams. It wasn't something anyone took lightly, especially given their ages, ranging from teenagers to young adults. But the judge had made it clear that their input was invaluable. The eldest child, Cristin, spoke first. He was tall for his age, with a serious expression that mirrored his father's. He stood in front of the court, fidgeting with his hands, clearly uncomfortable with the attention. I love both my parents, he began, his voice wavering slightly. But I think it's better for us to live with Mom. Things are different now. I don't want to go through all the drama anymore. I just want peace. The room was silent as his words hung in the air. Cristin's statement wasn't just about his own discomfort. It was a reflection of what many of the other children had been feeling. It wasn't easy to grow up in a family where multiple marriages were the norm, where relationships shifted constantly, and where the tension between parents was ever present. Kody's face reddened, his eyes narrowing as his son spoke. But he didn't interrupt. Next, it was Truly's turn, Cristin's youngest daughter. She stood with a determined expression, clearly not intimidated by the room full of people. I like living with Mom, she said simply. She makes me feel safe. The words hit Kody like a ton of bricks. He hadn't anticipated how this would affect him emotionally. His other children's testimony echoed what Cristin and Truly had shared, each of them expressing their desire for stability and calm, something Cristin had promised them when they left Flagstaff and moved to Salt Lake City. The final twist came when the judge asked for a recess to deliberate. The room buzzed with hushed conversations, but no one was prepared for the decision that followed. When the judge returned, she made her ruling swiftly. I have taken all of the evidence and testimonies into account, including the statements of the children. I find that it is in the best interest of the children to remain primarily in the custody of Mrs. Cristin Brown. Mr. Kody Brown will retain legal rights and visitation, but primary custody will be with Mrs. Brown. This decision is final and cannot be appealed. Kody's face drained of color. The weight of the ruling hit him like a physical blow. His grip tightened on the arms of the chair, his knuckles white with tension.